So when I'm selecting chicken thighs, I like to have them all uniform in size. So this is large, this is too small. And when they're uniform in size, they're going to cook more even. And also that there is no cuts in the skin, because you do get judged for appearance. And these are all quite meaty and uniform. The way I like to start with chicken thighs as far as trimming is, there is a tendon here, and it's very important to me to remove the tendon. Sometimes a pair of kitchen shears will do the trick. And you just take the point of the shears into the tendon and just take that little piece out. You don't want your judge to bite into your chicken and get that piece of fat or cartilage. Next, you'll see the chicken thighs have some fat pockets, and you want to remove those. You can sometimes do that just with your hand, but today I'm going to scrape it away with a knife. And you have to be very careful not to scrape too deep that you're going to get cuts into your skin. And you can see I've scraped that off. And on the other side, there's also a fat piece there that you want to remove. Very gently with your knife. And you can see I've retained the skin on either side of the chicken thigh, and that is going to help to fold underneath. But you can see the one side of the chicken thigh has more meat than the other, and you want it to be even. So gently take your knife and cut a piece of that meat off. And so now we have the meat even. Next, we like to cut the sides of the bone so that they're straight down. So I'm just going to make a vertical cut on either side so it's even. So it kind of looks like a rectangle. And then the skin is going to be folded underneath on either side. This skin is a little bit long, so you can remove a little bit of that. This is kind of a tedious process, but it pays off in the end. And then you gently fold it over. And this is what you're looking for, a perfect chicken thigh. So I'm going to do that with 8 different chicken thighs. The brine that I've prepared will be used in this Ziploc bag. Another tip is that when you place the chicken thighs into the bag, I like it to be exactly the way I'm going to put them into my pan. So I kind of lay them down gently into the bag, and I'll be doing one by one, and so they all are going to be going flat down on the surface as if they were in the pan. And we're going to pour the brine in, but I'm going to finish trimming these thighs first. Now I've trimmed all my 8 chicken thighs, and I'm going to carefully put them into my Ziploc bag. This is a gallon Ziploc bag, so it's a little tight, so I'm going to split these up to 4 and 4, but you can use a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, and that will accommodate all 8. And I kind of pretend that this is the way they're going to look for turn-in. I just feel like it works better, so we'll do 4 and 4. I have found that when you take chicken thighs and put it into brine and just toss them in a bowl, the skin doesn't look as smooth, and it gets a little bit of a wrinkly discoloration. And when you do the brine, make sure that you put the bags in the refrigerator. So we'll do one last little whisk to make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. Sometimes it's easier to pour the brine into like a measuring cup, so it's easier to pour into the Ziploc, especially if you're by yourself, but we're going to carefully put this in here. And you want to make sure that the chicken thighs are completely submerged in the liquid. be a little tedious. And I like to move the meat around in the brine a little bit to make sure that everything is touching the brine. Throw a bay leaf in there. Okay, and that's all there is to it. And we'll let these go back in the refrigerator for 3 hours to brine. The chicken thighs have been brining for 3 hours, and I've taken them out of the refrigerator, and now it's time to remove them from the brine. I normally rinse these off under the faucet, but today I'm just going to show you what I do with them right after they've been rinsed. So I'm taking them out of the brine, rinsing under the faucet. And now we're getting to the fun part. I like to put the barbecue rub on the chicken, but before we do, we're gonna take a little paper towel and pat them dry, because if they have too much moisture on them, the rub will just fall off. So pat them dry. Again, I'm trying to keep them intact as much as possible with that skin wrapped around, and we'll do some last minute adjustments before it goes in the pan.